Pokémon spin-off games, the extra games in the series that help to flesh out the world of Pokémon and to give new experiences to fans. What once flourished on the Nintendo DS seems little more than a footnote on the Nintendo Switch. But on the bright side, that'll make it a lot easier to talk about every Pokémon spin-off game on the Nintendo Switch while I fight off this early summer cold. And yes, it is just a cold, I don't have Pokerest, I already got the max potion, so I'm immune to it. But anyway, hey, this is GatorX and let's talk about some spin-off games. With the Nintendo Switch being a hybrid handheld and home console, Nintendo has started treating smartphones as their secondary console for smaller projects. This is where a handful of Pokémon spin-off games are starting to appear. You may recognize some of them, like the underground sleeper indie game Pokémon Go, but eventually games started to roll out for the Nintendo Switch, starting with Pokken Tournament DX. Now, we had already gotten Pokken Tournament on the Wii U 2 years prior, so getting it on the Switch wasn't all that big. I mean, literally every other good game on the Wii U would end up being ported to the Switch or receive a direct sequel, but I would say that Pokken legitimately needed it. Originally starting as an arcade game in Japan that would receive frequent updates with new characters, Pokken Wii U was already outdated by the time the Switch came out. So add those new characters and put it on a console that more people actually bought, and there you go. Be sure to add DX to the title so that they know it's the deluxe version. I think that's what it stands for. Makes it fit in with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Pokken itself is a fun game, even though there's not a whole lot to talk about since it's a fighting game. But yeah, it's good, although mostly for people with actual skill. Overall, a decent start. The next Pokemon spin-off game for the Nintendo Switch was Pokemon Quest, which I'm not even sure I could count since it also released on mobile devices, and boy does it look like it. So the next Pokemon spin-off game that released for the Nintendo Switch was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. This was a real surprise because it was a remake. Sure, Pokemon has been doing remakes of main series games ever since Fire Red and Leaf Green, but this was a spin-off game. Aside from Pokken, the most there was for spin-off games was putting them on the Virtual Console, and the Rescue Team games were even there. But since the Nintendo Switch doesn't have a Virtual Console, I guess this just seemed like the better solution. It would have been more ideal to put out a new entry in the Mystery Dungeon series, since it had been on ice for the past few years, but I mean, this is a full-on remake, even combining the two games into one, something not even the main series has caught on to. Although I don't get the DX in the title. Pokken Tournament DX was called that because it was more like a definitive edition port of the Wii U game, right? So why is Rescue Team DX given the same subtitle when it's a full-on remake? You'd think that they would call it Fire Red Rescue Team or something like that. Then again, the previous game was called Super Mystery Dungeon, and that's not an amazing title. Anyway, this was a welcome addition, allowing newcomers to experience the Mystery Dungeon series, and reassuring longtime fans it's not completely dead. Although it's still honestly a weird release because we just never got anything like it before. Although at this point, we're 2 for 2 for unoriginal content. The next Pokemon spin-off game for the Nintendo Switch was Pokemon Cafe Mix, which I'm not really even sure I could count since it also released on mobile devices, and boy does it look like it. So the next Pokemon spin-off game for the Nintendo Switch was new Pokemon Snap. Finally, something fans have been asking for at every opportunity. The visuals are great, the gameplay is solid, the Pokemon are lively, hardly anybody had any complaints. Okay, so one complaint. What is this title? Sure, this is technically a new Pokemon Snap, but when it comes to other things in Nintendo, the term new gets kind of weird. Like, this game is chronologically set after the original Pokemon Snap. It builds upon the gameplay, has updated graphics, and a bunch of added Pokemon. There's even reoccurring characters and lore. For all intents and purposes, this is Pokemon Snap 2. So why isn't it called Pokemon Snap 2? I get that this is a minor thing, but when the previous spin-off games on the system use DX in a confusing way, new Pokemon Snap just tops it all off. Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch have terrible titles. And it took 4 years into the Nintendo Switch's life to get a full-fledged original Pokemon spin-off game. Of course, taking time to make games is ideal, but it really didn't help the Switch's lineup of Pokemon spin-off games to feel very strong. Compare that to the Nintendo DS where we got so many Pokemon games, and the first one was a unique spin-off game before anything from the main series. Actually, you know what, that's a bad example. And of course, the Nintendo Switch obviously has priorities with a bunch of its other main games. And we're also coming to the point where we're gonna have 4 different main series Pokemon games on this console, and each of them look completely different from each other. So it seems like we're going to be getting variety in the main series most of all out of any other system. But that has been every Pokemon spin-off game for the Nintendo Switch. But anyway, hey, this is GatorX, and let me know what you think about the spin-off games for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Out of the 3, technically 4, or 5, which is your favorite, and which do you play often, I guess? What would you like to see for Pokemon spin-off games going forward? Of course, there is also Pokemon Unite. That's going to be coming out later at an undetermined date, but for the most part, I feel like it's relatively the same. Not to downplay that one more than it's already been so far, but again, you know, it's not necessary. It's a little different. It's falling in line with more of the other games, more like Quest and Cafe mix. Even though, well, you know, this one will probably be a little more substantial, but we have yet to see anything from that aside from the few looks that we've gotten so far. It'll be a way off, but let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can also enable notifications to make sure you see each new video as it comes out, and support by dropping some applause below if you're able to. But anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.